Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So, I just got home from a Home Guard exercise, which is kind of like a National Guard Army Reserve thing. So, I am a little bit tired, and yeah, me being away, that's why you didn't have an episode yesterday or on Thursday. I don't think I had an episode up on Thursday. I just didn't have enough pre-recorded stuff ready to be uploaded. So yeah, it was fun though. We did some MG3 training and car chases. Quite action-packed, actually, for one of those exercises. Anyway, let's play some battles. It's battlecruiser on battlecruiser. It's the Kempf Merkatz class versus a Lucen class. I did a one-on-one versus one of these a couple episodes ago, and I probably got a little bit too brave. That was one of my old Preußen class battlecruisers. This thing should have a much easier time of it. It's a much more modern and powerful battlecruiser than the Preußen class. So, let's go. And we already have vision on the enemy ship. Wait for it to fire. And get the is it really a good thumbnail when you got the propellers sticking out of the water? Maybe not. So let's wait for the next salvo. Like so. Yeah, there we go. Through the waves, like that. That's kind of cool. And again, with the Austrian Lucen class battlecruiser, one of our main advantages is the range. The other one being much heavier guns, because I think this only had like 10-inch guns, something like that. Yeah, it's got 10.1-inch guns. Which is kind of tiny for a battlecruiser. And those guns have a range of it's kind of hard to see with the fog thing. There, yeah. No, that's the 7-inch. Yeah, 13.6. That's not very far. So while I'm not gonna get as close as I did last time, I can very safely get closer than this. And this time I do have enough ammo to sink the enemy ship without having to resort to suicidal stupidity. let's get down to just under 20 kilometers and just stay there. I think that's the ticket. Yeah, 15-kilometer torps. Let's not get that close. We can probably slow down quite a bit. First flooding hit. Let's get a couple more of those floating hits, like that. Oh, yeah, that's funny. The 8.5-inch secondaries outrange the primary weapons on the enemy ship. As do our own 4.5-inch secondaries. Try and get this done without taking any damage. So the Kempf doesn't end up taking up a lot of shipyard space going in for repair. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's slow, but it's definitely not this fast. So let's stay at like 16. That's a good range, I think. Our main tower is gone. And that's a flash fire. Oh, we can slow down a bit now. They are definitely not going at 32 knots anymore. Yeah, 15. Are they trying to get away? Yeah. And good luck. You cannot escape the Merkatz class battlecruiser. Which is, funnily enough, faster than even my destroyers. And also I get the magical range found bonus. But I was taking the ship apart even before that. So in this case it doesn't feel too bad. A kind of propellant. Cordite 3, picric acid 3. Yeah, that's kind of explosive. Just need a little bit more flooding and it's gone. 75% accuracy. Even in this kind of weather. Come on, one more flying hit. What kind of armor? That's a lot of main deck armor. Yeah, that's more main deck armor than even my super battleships. And 15-inch main belt. That's actually not too bad. Yeah, that's a fairly well-protected battlecruiser. It's just too bad what all that armor is protecting is just not that good. Not with this kind of main armament. Flooding. And she's going. Gone. Alright. Easy. Perfect victory. Let's see, 2 more battles. Bayern class, once again. Assisted by some allied ships from 3 different nations. Egypt, Greece, and Tunisia. Frederick class battleship and Klosterneuburg class heavy cruiser. Yeah, no, that's not one of my designs. That's something they bought from a previous ally. $40 kilometers, not quite in range of the Mark IIIs. This is one of those ship classes I just can't do a lot of refitting to. Because Mark IV and also Mark V guns just do not fit on the built-in towers. Where's the light cruiser? Oh, it's one of these. I'm just gonna have the heavy cruiser follow the battleship. What kind of torpedo range do you have? 12.7, that's not too terrible. Actually. Uh, 9.5, that is kind of terrible. Can we still get a spread of torpedoes off? Maybe? Yeah, we can try. The DD's being engaged? Yeah, the DD's being engaged. Weather isn't great, but I'm just assuming the enemy ships have enough advanced tech that most of these weather negative modifiers are reduced. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh yeah. Ah, engine fixed, engine not fixed. Range was 12.7. Oh, torpedoes are in the water. Fine, run away. That is the battleship. They have detected the torpedoes. Was that another hit on the DD? Yeah, it was. So that's gonna sink. That's okay. I want my cruiser to fire at the enemy cruiser. Are we in range? 9.5. Nope. The enemy battleship is still firing at the DD. Oh, there we go. All torpedoes destroyed. I think that's the end of the Athene. Oh well. DD's still alive. Somehow. If I can turn it a little bit closer, it might be able to launch a couple more torpedoes before going down. At least if I turn the torpedoes on. Yeah. Oh well. Flash fires, there we go. So the 16s on Carl doing the work. Very good. Very good. Are we getting the bonus? Yeah. Well, that tends to help. Less deck armor than the battlecruiser from the previous battle, but more belt armor. Although of lesser quality, it's Crep 4. I think the other one had Crep 5. Maybe even modern? Anyway, a couple more salvos and the battleship should be dead. Yeah, there we go. Flooding. Torpedo detonation aboard the enemy cruiser. Yeah, the enemy battleship was actually able to... Oh, they're actually controlling the flooding too. They were able to score a pretty good hit on the Tutti Frutti before sinking. Yeah, they're gonna sink now, right? 1%? No? Controlled. Again. There we go. Finally. Does the cruiser left? So yeah, we kind of sacked 2 of the allied ships. And torpedoes incoming. I was hoping they would not really be able to launch. We are inside of torpedo range. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. But at least now, the next time the Kaiser Karl der Grosse is pulled into a battle supported by allied ships, my allies will hopefully turn up with something a little bit better. I know this is actually my design, it's just not a very good one. Just for some reason my allies wanted to buy it, even though I didn't. I never built any of those for myself. And there is one more battle in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, it's a cruiser fight. Puerto Rico class. And Atlanta class. Versus Cormoran and Frankfurt. My first modern heavy and light cruiser designs from quite a way back. Although they have since been refit. They're not really the pinnacle of my cruiser designs. Although I will still say the latest refit of the Frankfurt class makes them pretty much as good as a cruiser can be built on that hull to that displacement. There's not really that much room to build anything better. And these now have electric torpedoes. Are they running away? They better not be. No? .7 with the 5-inch guns. Again, actually outranging the main guns. Just something the AI sometimes does. Torpedo detonation. Yeah, look at this rate of fire with the latest auto reloaders and Mark 5 guns. Can we get this with fire? Or is it going to be flooding? Yeah, you have no more torpedoes. Yeah, I think it's gonna be flooding. But now the Atlanta is doing what I was hoping the Geier would do to the enemy heavy cruiser. There we go. I think that was the last flooding I needed. Let's actually make sure. Yeah, no. Extensive fire. Oh, it was so close to sinking. If it had just actually flooded out, the Freya could have switched fire to Gonzalez and slowed it down with flooding enough that the Geier could get away. But now look at that kind of damage just stacking up. Okay, just switch to that now. It is, of course, getting the bonus. Yeah, it's gonna be fire or crew losses. I don't think the Freya is gonna survive this. Especially not with the rear main gun taken out of action. Only hope now is to... yeah, there we go, actually flooding it. But it might be too late. For the 2% losses, lots of fires, almost no structure left. And yeah, surrendered. So that was 2 ships lost, a single Atlanta class, which I probably should have focused first. Alright. Naval invasion just to keep the war going. Again, I don't have the kind of tonnage, kind of navy as Austria have now. 71 ships, but that is including 57 submarines. 1 battleship, battlecruiser, 8 heavies, 2 lights, 2 DDs. It's not that much. The US Navy still has 20 light cruisers, most of which I think is the Atlanta class. But my GDP has finally tipped. Is that a trillion? I think it is. Which is more than the current Austro-Hungarian economy, although that is because it's being halved by my naval blockade. Other naval invasions here, 50%, not too shabby. Yeah, last one is here, 80%. I think we're gonna get that. This one was successful. Cannot launch anymore this turn. But I do think I'd maybe launch one against northern Alaska. Or did I? I don't know. No, I think this turn I launched this one. Yeah, that was launched this turn. And I have to wait until next turn to get my ships into the Bering Sea to take this. Alright. So that's 170,000 tons of free capacity. What is being suspended now? Let's resume that one. Yeah. Alright. And let's hope an army invasion into Austria can finally be launched. We did take Siberian Russia via a land invasion. And also East Philippines. So, yeah, that's good. Alright. Let's go to May and see what happens. Blockade of Austro-Hungarian Empire by German Empire has ceased. Okay. Submarines. Do not sink my ships. Okay. Strike against undefended port. And here we go. It's the old König Wilhelms encountering the last remaining Austrian battleship and battlecruisers and 4 of their cruisers. I'd rather it had been the Bismarck Intrepids encountering these ships, but let's go. It does make things a bit more exciting, though. At least they have ammo. DD, just go home. Dessau can just follow. So they are focusing the enemy battleship. So I think maybe taking out the cruisers first would be a better idea. Softer targets and arguably more dangerous with all of their torpedoes. So that is their not light cruiser, because the light cruiser has to be the one in the smoke screen. No. There, focus one ship each. Not really scoring those big hits I was after, but at least we're scoring some hits. And some of my ships have reverted to firing at the battleship again. Which might not have been a bad idea, because it just flash fired. Obviously didn't take out all of its ammo, but probably took out some of it. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's one dead ship. That was a heavy cruiser. Jagged class with the very long range torpedoes. And the next cruiser is just about to follow. The light took a hit too, accidentally. Habsburg. went down. Dessau, light cruiser. Wilhelm, also light cruiser. Moltke, heavy. Well, that's a different ship. That's not the Lucin class. This is something else. Standard bulkheads, but and not too much armor. But it's Crep 5. It's got Generation 1 radar. Yeah, but these guns are not completely terrible. I'd say probably a decent cruiser killer type of battlecruiser, but still a little bit undergunned. And that was the light cruiser going down, I think. Well, it had to be. Torpedo detonation aboard Wien. Wilhelm. Focus on the Leiter. That's quite cheap for a battlecruiser. It's got 2 powder 2, TNT 2, so it's not gonna explode. There we go. I wonder if you can get more flash fires on that ship. Yeah, Cordite 1 and picric acid 3. Very explosive combination. Why is my cruiser focusing the battleship, which it can't really hurt? So I gotta take a look at the new heavy cruisers I'm building and rename one of them to Freya. After the one that the one that was lost. Are they turning around? As flooding hits on all three in the span of a couple of seconds. Let's go down to cruising speed. I lost sight of the heavy cruiser. Which means Dessau gets to go alone. You can stay at cruising speed. Dessau accelerates to flank speed and tries to get a glimpse of that heavy cruiser again. What kind of deck armor did you have? 9.3. Cannot really pen that kind of armor, deck armor. You can speed up too. Uh, 8.3 on the deck of the enemy battleship. I'm just surprised I don't see more flash fires. Because it still has main guns remaining, and it does have ammo for those guns. So there should be some things that could explode. it's turning back. Questionable decision. $19.2 knots. 18.5. 10.3. Although that's because it just did a turn. Yeah, no, 19.5. Dessau is getting quite close now. I don't really want to lose another Cormoran class. I already lost one this episode and another one not too long ago. Oh, there we go. But those ships were lost to the American light cruisers, the Atlanta class. Which are quite overpowered currently, with how that range found bonus just stacks up to a maximum of plus 2,900%. And you can get that on any kind of ship if it fires enough salvos. Because it's really just a number that should have been capped at a much lower value. But if you have something with a higher rate of fire, you get it almost immediately. So for example, those Atlanta class cruisers. The enemy battlecruiser went down. Just the battleship left. Triglav. I'm pretty sure one of the Imperial admirals in Legend of the Galactic Heroes had a ship named the Triglav. Are we out of AP? No? No. I'm just firing HE because of the angle, I guess. Yeah, they're quite survivable for something with standard bulkheads. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, Wilhelm, you're gonna detach. And my plan now... Okay, never mind. There's no need for a plan. My plan was to have my ships split up into 2 groups, so that at least one group would have a flat belt armor shot. But there was no need. Okay. I think I'm just gonna do that one off camera. I'm certainly not gonna auto-resolve it, because that just leads to some very, very stupid results. But I don't think it's gonna be really worth watching. And this episode is probably finished anyway. So I will see you next time, and... Okay, no, let's actually do this just as a bonus for the people still watching. And then we're gonna end it. And everything is firing. I can send my cruisers home. I can send my DDs home. Battlecruisers are nice to have. They've got a bit more speed. Inch already hitting. You can stop wasting your ammo. Another 19 from Siegfried. And yeah, good night. Wow, who did the most? So London Kempf did 3.4, Siegfried did 16. That's the Mark 5 19s for you. Okay. Yeah, look at that mine damage. Again, this is why I don't lay minefields. It's just unfair to the AI. Australia wants to buy one Z-47 class. Sure. Tension increase with Italy. People of Hungary take arms and try to gain control of Hungary that is currently occupied by Austro-Hungarian Empire. Very cool. Very cool. This is not really going anywhere. This has yet to begin. That's for the next episode. Yeah, we got another 100,000 free capacity. So you got two light cruisers named Köln, just spelled different. This is the correct German spelling. This is something else. That was the name of the light cruiser that was lost. Sea Adler, that's a cool name. Undine? No. Freya. Alright, Mexico and Australia are buying Z-47s. Those will need to be renamed. What else is being built here? Yeah, 105,000. Is that enough to... That is just enough. Oh. Just over the limit by a couple of tons. So what are we going to suspend? Okay, let's resuspend you. And then resume these. Alright, alright. Alright. Can this be resumed? Leipzig. Yeah. Just get it done. Yeah, no, the blockade has ceased. Naval invasion. Of northern Alaska. Yeah, I think we have enough tonnage to pull that off. But why are they no longer blockaded? Is that because we don't have enough tonnage in the area? Is that how it's calculated now? Stralsund. Yeah, that's the torpedo cruiser. Anyway, we're gonna continue this in the next episode tomorrow. Goodbye and take care.